What's going on there, folks? Good morning, good afternoon to some out there. It's the Earthmaster here on this beautiful Monday, September 26th, 2022. It is about 11:26 a.m. California time here along the west coast. A 2.5 earthquake up here in the Alaska region is the latest earthquake on the globe. We'll get to the earthquake activity here in just a minute, but first I want to cover the activity happening with Hurricane Ian set to hit Florida and the Tampa area pretty much head on. Looks like the cone of uncertainty has kind of shifted here directly over the Tampa area currently. Let's go ahead and check out some specifics right now. Hurricane Ian is gaining strength as we speak, as it's starting to head into the Gulf area. A lot of warm moisture in this region. A lot of stuff for it to gobble up, so to speak, and just gain some strength. Is currently at 85 miles per hour sustained wind speed, so Category 1. This is expected to strengthen into a Category 4 very quickly. Rapid development of the eye is expected throughout the day today, and it looks like it should remain Category 4 for an extended amount of time before reaching landfall, potentially as a Category 2 or Category 3 here around the Tampa area. Now there's still a little bit of cone of uncertainty here in this region, but if we look at the ECMWF model, that kind of broadens out even further. But the NOAA forecast is calling for this thing to pretty much stay on course, but a little bit closer here to the Tampa area. Let's go ahead and check out some of these specifics here. This here is Tuesday, 12 p.m. time frame, it looks like. Tomorrow it should be around 138 mile per hour winds, Category 4 strength. See what I'm saying? That's really rapid development there of this hurricane. A lot of warm waters out there. Beautiful Gulf, but deadly for some hurricanes. Now it looks like Wednesday night. Let's go over here to about Wednesday at 5 p.m. This is going to be much closer here to the Tampa area. And current wind speeds right here should be roughly about, let's see what we got, Wednesday, 121 miles per hour sustained. That would be Category 3, right? Or Category 2. Either way, some strong winds kicking up here. I'm kind of zooming in a little bit closer so we can see these wind speeds on this map. The effects of this hurricane is going to be felt pretty soon before it actually makes landfall. Now this one right here, this model is actually showing it just hugging the coast of Tampa right now. But remember, storm surge and whatnot can be a big factor. And this one is still kind of showing that sudden eastward movement of the hurricane and almost directly over the Tampa area. Let's go to the ECM model. See what these guys are forecasting here for Thursday. Again, this one's kind of a little off the coast as well, but that cone of uncertainty is what you have to remember. Don't let your guard down out there. There is some evacuation orders right now for portions of Tampa, and here is the map put out by the city of Tampa area. Let's see here. Oops, stand by for just a second. Oh man, let's see if I can get this right here. Going back this way. I want to zoom in and see here how close we are real quick. Some of these winds out here should be 50 miles an hour or more, but that's all dependent on how far this is going to remain offshore. I'm going to show you another map here in a minute, but I want to show you guys this evacuation zone for the Tampa area. Now, the red zone here looks like that is the evacuation, mandatory evacuation order has been issued for Zone A, voluntary evacuation for Zone B. Good to know your zones out there, right? Somebody asked what is yellow and green zones. Here they listed it, City of Tampa. Red is in Zone A. Zone B is in orange, and Zone C and so on. So red is the mandatory evacuation there listed up here in this region. and got some orange in there as well. That is the voluntary evacuation for B. But it's good to pay attention to your local media and social media and whatnot as far as the evacuation orders go. But a good portion here is in that mandatory evacuation zone. So I'm going to go over here to the let's go to tropical tidbits here, and this is another model that we can kind of look at far as getting a better look at where this could be headed. Let's see here what we got. Let me go to regions here and see if I can pick up a little bit closer view of the Florida area. Let's go ahead and run this GFS model and take a look at it. Now this one right here, this one is dead on around the Tampa area, it looks like. You guys see that? Look right here. So it's coming up, gaining strength, and it just moves right over the Tampa area with the kind of the northeastern section of the eye wall, and that's kind of the strongest area. Again, it's getting close, right? It's a couple days out, so this will be adjusted accordingly, but to me it almost looks like a dead bullseye hit to the Tampa area. Something pretty serious there, that's for sure. You guys see that? So a couple different models, a couple different issues with that. You know, one kind of showing a more offshore flow of that hurricane, but either way it's still going to be an issue for the folks there in Tampa. More of an issue if it follows this GFS model. It's a pretty big deal, and then it'll scoot off towards the north and get caught up there and weaken dramatically. So we'll keep an eye on it. We're definitely going to be doing updates on this pretty much until it does happen. We'll cover this again tonight unless we see a more drastic model change. But again, there's the mandatory evacuation orders from the city of Tampa, Florida. They're in the red. The orange is going to be Zone B, which is a voluntary evacuation order. And they have their social media page lit up there on Facebook as far as the issues and whatnot go, as far as the evacuation zones go. So we will keep an eye on it, folks. And either way, it's going to be a pretty crazy couple days there, looking for Ian to hit the Florida area. We'll definitely watch it. All right, guys. As far as earthquake activity goes, let's go ahead and see what we got going on here. Is this the latest map? It is. Okay, we got one earthquake up here in the red circle, 4.8 there in Russia. This one's kind of into the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench at 191 kilometers deep. Got to watch this area pretty closely. We haven't really seen any major earthquake activity here on this zone in quite some time. And I've been watching this. I've been watching this for quite a while. It's been building up. A little bit of movement out around the Indonesia area today as well. A couple fours kicking off, and some movement out here around the Vanuatu area. The 4.8 over here in Fiji, that was from late last night, actually late afternoon time frame. We got one earthquake earlier this morning around the Vanuatu area, 4.5 or 5.5, should say. Looking at Hawaii, let's go ahead and zoom in here and see what we got for the all magnitudes. Things kind of dying off here on the big island. It looks like just a little scattered activity around the Pahala area, and still a little bit of microquake activity happening at the Mauna Loa volcano. Been watching this here over the last couple days. Looks like we got a total tally around Mauna Loa of about 142 earthquakes so far, and the largest magnitude looks to be a 2.8, and most of these have been relatively shallow. We've seen a couple deeper ones as well, but most of this here has been at the surface levels. There was an update put out as far as what's going on, which is just seismic activity right now there at Mauna Loa, but as always, it's something to watch and monitor. Let's check out the Let's check out the hazard notification system here from the HVO. See if they put out anything today as far as the updates go. Nope, looks like a couple days ago is when that Mauna Loa informational statement was put out, and they just talked about these earthquakes may result from changes in the magma storage system and or may be part of normal readjustments of the volcano due to changing stresses within it. But as always, the HVO continues to monitor the Hawaiian volcanoes for any changes. So just kind of watching that, seeing how it plays out. Up north into Alaska, got one earthquake here around the Aleutian Trench, around the Rat Islands area, 5.2 at 76 kilometers deep here, into the Pacific and the North American plate boundary. Let's see, general movement up there in Alaska looks about the same. No major swarms. Trident volcano doesn't look like it's swarming today. Just a very typical day up there. Pacific Northwest, some scattered activity up there in the northern part. Northern California showing a little bit of activity scattered throughout the throughout this region here. Let's see, the last one was a 2.6 near the Covelo area, along the Bartlett Springs section of the Coast Range here, 2.8 kilometers below the surface. So a little bit of activity kicking up in Northern Cal today. We got one earthquake up here just off the northern end of the San Andreas Fault, the north coast section here. 1.2 out 14 kilometers southeast of Point Arena. And the rest of California, just a little spotty activity up here north of the Garlock Fault shear zone. Southern California getting a little migration of quakes here across the towards the Salton City area and the southern branch of the San Andreas Fault. Going to watch that closely, see if we get any more swarms around here. The rest of the country, a little scattered activity up in the Wyoming area. Looks like about 10 earthquakes around Yellowstone. Let's go ahead and check out the Yellowstone overview here. Not for sure why it says that. I remember it did this last time. Isn't that odd? That's really odd. I've been going to Yellowstone for a little while. Maybe it's possible their certificates have expired. I don't think the owner of this page is a hacker or something. Hopefully not. Either way, as far as seismic activity goes here at Yellowstone, that's weird, man. I keep getting these. It's a little on the odd side. Little bit of microquake movement, it looks like, around the Purple Mountain area. Gonna have to check into that, see what's going on. Alright, let's back out of here and close that window just in case. Oklahoma area. Looks like 2.4 outside of the Oklahoma City area. Let's see what we got out there. Possibly some oil fields, maybe? What do you guys think? Something's out here. What is this? Not for sure what this place is. Could be some storage units, maybe. I don't know. A little odd looking. But as far as oil pumping operations go, yeah, we got them out there. See these little squares here? Those are those look like they're in operation. Some other ones down here south as well. Some of these have ponds, it looks like, which could be wastewater injection well. But either way, yeah, there's definitely some oil fields out there. All right, let's see what else we got here. Across the eastern portion of the country, nothing going on. The big story right now, kind of getting a pretty good cluster of quakes out here over the last 24 hours and a lot within the last couple hours here near the Wreck Janes Ridge. This is a divergent fault boundary here, meaning that the seafloor is spreading apart, creating these earthquakes, and there's quite a few of them out there. Got 12 of them so far in the last 24 hours. Got to watch that pretty closely. A bunch of them, like right there. Normally we don't see swarms like that, but it's definitely swarming up there right now, south of the Iceland area. One earthquake down here in the mid-Atlantic ridge as well. This one coming in, looks like over late afternoon time frame yesterday. South Sandwich Trench seen some movement as well. Looks like the latest quake, at least as far as the southern area goes, with a 4.7 at 35 kilometers deep. Let's see here. Let's bounce over here. Looks like a little bit of earthquake activity kicking up. This one came in late afternoon time frame in the Honduras area, 5.1. I don't remember seeing that up there yesterday. I wonder if they added that on after the fact. Further east here, a little bit of movement looks like this morning time frame in Afghanistan, a 4.3. Pretty deep there, 101.3 kilometers deep into the mountainous areas. So not a whole lot going on far as large scale activity goes. The only spots I think we need to watch right now is out here with the swarming going on in the North Atlantic Ocean. Remember, this is kind of spreading apart. This could stir up volcanoes further upstream, but also at the same time we could see a little adjustment out here along the eastern portion of the country. We'll have to watch that and see which way these plates want to adjust and move. Let's see what we got for space weather activity here. Not a whole lot. Green across the board, folks. We do have this coronal hole 27 that should be providing us with a little bit of high-speed solar wind that will be flowing from this area in the coming days once it's directed towards the Earth. And it's pretty much center disk, so it should have an effect here as far as the auroras go and the 3-day geomagnetic forecast. But right now it's green across the board, and no major solar flares popping off. In fact, looking at the solar flare detection chart shows a couple C flares kicking up here. And let's see where these are coming from. Hard to say looking at this image. By the magnetic field image here, looks like these could be coming off of a number of sunspots, possibly this one here or maybe this one down here. We'll have to see exactly where these are coming from. But threat level goes, I don't think we have a 10% chance of a X flare, but these guys are, they still have it set up like that. 40% chance of an M flare, 99% chance of a C flare. And again, I don't think we're looking at any major solar flare threat. Looking at those sunspots, are just not super set up there for anything major. But we'll definitely keep an eye on them. Current solar wind stream data shows a little bit of elevated density here. Looks like overnight time frame, but things pretty stable along the interplanetary magnetic field. Speed way down there, right around the 300 km range. So somewhat calm conditions there. No major activity expected for the next couple nights as far as the aurora forecast goes. But again, once this coronal hole rotates into view, and that should amplify these conditions a little bit after these next couple nights of quietness. All right, guys, we will do a little bit further update later on tonight. Again, just if you're out there in Florida, take heed at what the local law enforcement and agencies are telling you. If they say to evacuate, probably a good idea to evacuate. I know that storm surge down there can really come inland a pretty good distance. And we got a tropical, when you have a Category 4 hurricane spinning just offshore, it's going to churn up those waters out there. And again, it's got a lot of moisture to work with. It's very warm out there in the Gulf, and that's favorable for extreme development, rapid development of any hurricane that sits out there and spins. And we'll watch that as it progresses throughout the day. And of course, we'll provide a further update later this evening time frame. Looks like a little activity down here around New Zealand. Of course, USGS not reporting any of this. A couple fours kicking off here. Looks like some of it pretty recent as well. Pretty good cluster of threes out here in the south of the Philippines here and along the Philippine plate boundary, southern end. And there's that swarm of quakes up there. That's I'm gonna have to watch that. Something brewing up there, something stirring down below. All right, guys, catch you a little bit later on. Got quite a bit of school work to do today. Gonna get busy on that, and we'll chat you guys a little bit later on tonight with a complete update. Peace out.